Welcome to the OurThoughts podcast. If you're new around here, I'm Chesco, and on the other end, as always,
Matthew Magnus on the other end.
And we actually have a pretty big announcement to start off the pod. We are starting a Patreon that you guys can support. It's basically like a GoFundMe or Indiegogo, but for ongoing projects. And you will get certain perks, certain benefits if you want to join along with us on that journey.
Yeah, let's just go in, tell you what we have to offer on our Patreon page, which is officially up now, and it'll be in the description. But starting off, we have our first tier, which is the VIP tier. That is the lowest tier. You get access to all of these videos and the podcast episode itself 1 day early. Plus, you will also get to help decide what our next topic is for 1 or 2 different videos that month. We'll put out a little poll. You have the ability to participate in whatever you guys like, because we see all your comments, like do this, like review this album, review this project, like go to Patreon. Our VIP tier, you can personally tell us what you want to see in our next few videos in that first tier.
And the second tier we have for you, I feel like I'm on a game show where we're like giving all the different prizes. Yeah. It's like we have a trip to the Bahamas. Right. So the second tier is being part of the OurThoughts team. And this is the one I think that everyone would like to, if I had to recommend one, I would definitely recommend this one. You get everything from tier 1, but you also get a bunch of exclusive content that we're excited to do. There's actually one video that we're going to record right after this podcast, our reaction to The Weeknd's next single, Over Now, with Calvin Harris.
Friend, I need you to know that we ain't ever gonna go back. This time it goes.
And like I said, I think this is the one you want to go with. We're going to do a lot of different stuff on there. Basically anything that we want to talk about but doesn't necessarily warrant a full podcast. Discuss topics that you guys want to talk about, we want to talk about. And there's certain albums and singles, singles reactions, reviews, and all that. That'll be all on the Patreon and you can get that all on the second tier right here.
Next, we have our third tier, which is the producer tier. If you want to have a little bit more of a hand in not only, seeing these new videos, but actually being part of these episodes that we post every week, this tier is, the one for you. In our producer tier, you get everything from the past few tiers, plus you are credited in the YouTube video where we'll put your name either in the middle or at the end of the video, and you have a chance to actually give your own thoughts on the OurThoughts podcast, where on certain videos, if we reach out to our producer tier Patreon subscribers, saying, what did you guys think about, this album or this single that just came out? And you can record a video or just record your audio. We'll include you in the video and give your 2 cents on the topic at hand.
I'll run through the next 2 just to kind of, because I feel like they kind of are this similar thing. We actually want to help some of the artists out. Every now and then someone reaches out to us and asks us if we can, listen to their music, put it on the podcast somehow. So we decided to do something. We have a tier for you guys. If you want us to check out your music and if you want some feedback, we will listen to it and give you our reaction, give you any advice, feedback. You'll get everything you get from the OurThoughts team tiers. Plus we'll review your music. Going on to our final tier, I was thinking of what to name this. I almost called it the score of OurThoughts.
Yeah.
But if you want your music to be featured in one of our YouTube videos, in the outro or intro, or even in the background while we're talking, join this tier for $20 a month. We will feature your guys' music on the YouTube video, credit you guys, and obviously you get everything from the OurThoughts team tier as well. Yeah, I'm really excited to kind of reach out to you guys, or for you guys to reach out to us, and we want to help you guys as much as you guys have helped us. So yeah,
and being part of a Patreon is just another way not only just to support the show, but also help make the show pretty much. But yeah, we're gonna really utilize Patreon for a lot of content, whether it's live streams of us doing this right now, recording, taking polls, and all of your suggestions and stuff like that. So we're gonna be just as active on YouTube and all of our other social media as we will be on Patreon. So let us know if you guys are interested, and go ahead, click the link in the bio. There should already be some content there for majority of the tiers. And yeah, we'll see you guys there.
Matt, we need to talk about album titles, and we need to talk about album covers. The reason that that this topic came up was because Drake recently announced, well, first of all, Drake came out, and
wow,
congrats to him. Yeah, and also he came out with a single, Laugh Now, Die Later, Cry Later. Laugh Now, Cry Later. And then he also released the name of the album, which will be Certified Lover Boy, which was a very interesting title, to say the least. I guess the first question I want to ask you is, did this kind of change your expectation of Drake's next album? Because obviously we reviewed Dark Lane demo tapes and kind of came out with like what our expectations or what we wanted the next album to be. Did this kind of move the needle a little bit, for better or for worse?
I don't really know. I mean, Drake is Drake. Like, he can make decent songs when he needs to. I just thought that like the name of the album was like really corny. It just sounds like some edgy e-boy, like indie rock, EP or something that he's dropping on SoundCloud only. This
is gonna be the ultimate fuckboy album, I'm telling you. Someone said, I was looking through the comments of the Laugh Now Cry Later music video. Yeah. Someone said that Drake titles his albums like the male Mariah Carey.
Oh my God.
So I guess the next question I wanted to ask you is, what other albums, in recent memory, just because obviously, we weren't alive for when Blueprint, when Jay-Z was like on his run or whatever. What albums were there where the announcement of the title itself was like a big event?
Just in recent time, I mean, I feel like a lot of Kanye's projects are always extremely hyped. Obviously every Kanye album is going to be extremely hyped, but in terms of album names and covers, it's always extremely hyped because that's usually all we get for about like a year after it's announced. But I feel like it's honestly like kind of hard to like mess up an album title and album name.
Anytime you say
names.
It's impossible to mess up, someone always does. That's just how it works.
It's crazy how bad some of these can be. And
now that we kind of told you what our criteria of like album titles and covers, I mean, let's just go ahead and list off a couple of some of our favorites.
Number one, I think one of my favorite album covers and titles is Childish Gambino's album Awaken My Love, that came out a couple years ago, not too long. But I think this was one of the most like striking or visually striking album covers that I've seen in a while. It was just so interesting to look at, like the woman with the headpiece and like her eyes are like rolled in the back of her head and she's like submerged in water. Like, it looks insane. I feel was a little bit of a surrealist take on an album cover, which this album felt like was the same vibe as the visual itself, where the album style was a little bit surreal and retro throwback, but also like kind of spiritual at the same time. For some of the songs, like Me and Your Mama and Zombies, like, they're all like crazy different, but they all kind of come together. And so that's why I love this album cover. Another fun fact about this album cover is that before the album was dropped, he actually leaked the album cover on an episode of Atlanta. Yeah. Right in the background of one of my favorite scenes. Where he talks about how like slavery like erased his family history and all that in that scene.
And it's the white guy, right, who is like super into, like, he's doing slam poetry and like
he's like really into like black culture.
I'm watching. I'm just streaming Atlanta, and I just got to I just finished the Teddy Perkins episode. Jesus Christ.
Bro, I need to rewatch that. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that show's insane. But it was cool seeing it in the background.
The one that I have, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this album. Trilogy. If you haven't been blessed, if your ears haven't been blessed by The Weeknd and you don't exactly know what I'm referring to, Trilogy is talking about, it's the 3 debut mixtapes that The Weeknd came out with back in, I don't even know, like 2007, 8, I don't know, but
a while ago.
Back when we didn't even know his face, we didn't know his name. Like, for all we knew, he could have been a band. Like, he was literally he would just post this mixtape, the 3 mixtapes, House of Balloons Thursday, and then Echoes of Silence. You know, he came out with those 3 mixtapes, and then he decided to remaster them and put them into one little package titled Trilogy, which is why it's Trilogy, the 3 different mixtapes. And I think, obviously that's just a really cool meaning. And also it's just like this nice introduction to The Weeknd, because he must have known that he was going to be a hit. So knowing that people were going to be coming on to him at this point in time, he knew that Trilogy was going to be the big intro. So it's nice that he, remastered it and did all that stuff. So really cool.
Trilogy is probably one of the most iconic and most groundbreaking compilation of EPs or full project in the history of R&B, at least in the latest 10 years.
It literally brought in this new wave of R&B with this, dark, super gritty, very
highly sensual,
yes,
all of that. What's your favorite EP out of the 3?
I mean, I gotta go with the first one, House of Balloons. Yeah, I think that one just has, every single song hits for me, but out of all, if the highest peaks, I'd say for me personally, are in House of Balloons.
Really?
But
yeah. I think Echoes of Silence might be my favorite. That's the one I have physical version. I have another vinyl. I should probably put that one up. Maybe I should change these every episode.
Yeah, man.
There you go. Something in, just a little Easter
rotation, man. There you go.
Yeah. Can I get an honorable mention I can throw in?
Oh, for sure.
Just for the same reason. The album Titanic Rising by Ways Blood, I think it's a band, is one of the coolest album covers that I've seen. I think it's one of the most cinematic, straight out of a surrealist movie. Which is exactly how I can describe their music.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, I just saw it just now.
It's insane.
That looks practical. That looks like they flooded a room.
They literally look like they're underwater. I don't know how they did that, but unless they literally built a room and then in a box and then put water in it and she jumped in.
So yeah, those are a couple albums, titles and covers that we like. Now let's go ahead and go on the other side of the spectrum. And talk about some that didn't really work as well. Regardless, I want a little disclaimer, regardless of the quality of music, because there's, you may like the albums that we're talking about, but that doesn't spare it from us roasting it in a couple of seconds. So the first one I want to bring up, so it's an album by Pusha T called King Push, Darkest Before the Dawn, the Prelude.
Bruh.
And man watched the Dark Knight and I was like, you know what? I like that line. He probably saw that you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. He probably saw that was taken. He was like, you know what? I like the darkest before the dawn line. And also the funny thing is, it says the Prelude. The very next album was Daytona, which came out 4 years later.
What is he even... What is this preluding to? The Dark Knight Rises, the Prelude.
Yeah.
Bro, please don't. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that. That's hella funny.
Yeah, it's something.
I've seen the album cover, but I didn't know that's what the name of it was. Okay, here's mine. My album for album covers that did not really hit. This one also is not on our notes that you can see, so this would be a surprise.
Okay.
Is Offset's Father of Four. It came out last year. All of my criteria for bad albums are just awful photoshopped albums. And I have another honorable mention.
That is my turn off. That is my turn off in movies, by the way, when it's like, you know, like, oh, like I remember this picture with me and your father, and they look at the photo. It's like you could tell how the crop, and you could tell they tried to blur it so that way it would work. Nah, man, Photoshop, man. I hate it.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. He's like a pharaoh on a throne, and
it's like different lighting. Like the daughter on the left is like in like really like bright light, and then
like look at the baby compared to like the kid on the right sitting down. Like look at this difference in skin tone. Like, or no, maybe they photoshopped the other kid because he's just like looks like a stock photo.
I just want to know what the story is, because like I don't think, like, forgive me if I'm wrong. Like, please forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I feel like it would be pretty easy to get your family to come and take a photo with you. Like I did it all the time when I was a kid. I have a bunch of
I don't know, man.
Like
I went to some like bad kids or something.
Maybe, I don't know. Is
they
there
don't want to sit down?
Something going on at home, like when they're making this album? I don't know. It's not not great.
Yeah, and it's funny because I saw people like making, like fans would remake the album cover, like, and they just make it 10 times better.
Jesus Christ.
Like it's I love when that happens. It's so funny. Yeah, those are some of our favorite albums of some of our least favorite album covers and titles. I think it's really important to have all of that be part of experiencing the music. It's what they're going to look at on their phone every time when they pull up your album. It's what's going to lead all of your marketing campaigns to be put up in like Times Square in New York. I'm not trying to see like Drip or Drown 2 like 1,000-foot screen, you know, or Father of Four on the side of a highway.
Oh, like, God, imagine.
Right? Like, so it's hard to F it up, but when you do it, when it's people do, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. By the way, I was just looking at my phone a couple minutes ago, and Over Now is on streaming platforms, so it looks like we have a reaction to record.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Let us know what are some of your guys' favorite albums. What do you think like the dopest album covers or album titles, and what do you think is like the worst album cover or album title or whatever that you can think of, because they're always fun to
this is definitely one of those videos that we will be in the comments looking and seeing everything reacting. That you guys are saying, because there's a lot of bad ones out there. Like it's hard to mess up, like Matt is saying, but there are some stinkers in there somewhere. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. You guys know where to hit us up. Our thoughts on everything, social media. Make sure check out our Patreon, again in the description. Support us over there. Get some exclusive Our Thoughts content that will be there as soon as you hit subscribe.
So I want to see me and Matt throwing ass around the room. Check it out.
Our Thoughts OnlyFans, also in the description.
$8 a month
for our real fans.
$8 a month, and you get exclusive content.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.